The shelves gleamed under the fluorescent lights, each toy glowing in perfect, unreachable beauty. Maya stood still in the middle of the aisle, her heart sinking lower with every price tag she read. Rows of bright pink boxes lined the shelves, Barbie dolls dressed as doctors, princesses, astronauts, even mermaids. Each one cost more than she could justify spending. Her fingers brushed the edge of a box, then withdrew quickly, as if touching it might make her more aware of what she couldn't give her daughter. Lily's 7th birthday was tomorrow. For weeks she had talked about nothing else but Barbie, how she would braid her hair, dress her up, and make her a tiny paper house out of the leftover shoeboxes in their closet. She'd even written a letter to Santa months too early, though Maya hadn't the heart to remind her that Santa didn't come in October. Every time Lily spoke, her eyes sparkled with innocent hope, and every time, Maya's heart cracked a little more. She checked her wallet again, even though she already knew what she'd find: a few wrinkled bills, enough for milk, bread, and maybe some eggs. The idea of buying a toy that cost almost half her weekly groceries was impossible. She looked around, half hoping for a miracle, half praying no one would see the tears brimming in her eyes. At the end of the aisle, a mother with a fancy handbag laughed as her little girl pointed to a Barbie dress. "Of course, sweetie, we'll get it," she said cheerfully. Maya turned away, ashamed of the sting of envy burning her chest. She wished she could give Lily everything, not the most expensive toys, just a chance to feel like other kids. That night, the apartment was dim and quiet. The sound of the neighbor's television seeped through the thin walls as Maya tucked Lily into bed. "Did you get her, Mama?" Lily asked sleepily, clutching her old paper doll. Maya hesitated, brushing a loose strand of hair from her daughter's face. "Not yet, sweetheart," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Maybe next year." When Lily's soft breathing filled the room, Maya sat beside her, tears finally slipping down her cheeks. The calendar on the wall mocked her with tomorrow's date circled in red, her little girl's birthday, and no gift to show for it. Asterisk. The morning light crept through the cracked blinds, painting faint stripes across Maya's worn-out uniform. She tied her apron tighter and forced a smile into the mirror, whispering to herself, "Just one more shift." The diner was already buzzing by the time she arrived. The clatter of plates, the hiss of the coffee machine, and the constant murmur of early customers filled the air. To anyone else, it was an ordinary day, but for Maya, it was Lily's birthday, and that made the ache in her chest feel heavier than usual. She wiped down tables, refilled cups, and tried not to think about the empty space under the tiny kitchen table at home where a gift should have been waiting. Between orders, she took out her phone to look at Lily's picture, a small reminder of why she kept going. Her daughter's wide smile gave her strength, even as fatigue threatened to swallow her whole. It was late morning when the diner door opened, and in walked a man who seemed completely out of place. His tailored suit, polished shoes, and calm confidence drew subtle glances from everyone. Maya recognized him instantly. Daniel Cross, the CEO of a tech company often mentioned in the local paper. He was the kind of man who didn't belong in small-town diners like theirs. Yet here he was, sitting alone at a corner booth. When Maya approached to take his order, her hands trembled slightly. "Good morning, sir. Coffee?" she asked. Daniel nodded without looking up from his phone. As she poured the coffee, a folded piece of paper slipped from her apron pocket and landed on the table. "I'm so sorry," she blurted, reaching for it quickly. But Daniel's hand was faster. He unfolded the paper carefully, revealing a child's drawing, a stick figure girl with a big pink dress, and the words, "My Barbie birthday," written in uneven letters. He glanced at Maya, his expression softening. "Your daughter?" he asked quietly. Maya nodded, embarrassed. "She's turning 7 today," she murmured, forcing a small smile. She wanted a Barbie, but maybe next time. Daniel studied the drawing again, and for a brief moment, his usually composed eyes flickered with something personal, a memory, perhaps, of a time long gone. Without a word, he slid a crisp $100 bill under the saucer. "Keep the change," he said gently, meeting her gaze for a heartbeat before turning back to his coffee. Maya stood frozen, unsure what to say, unaware that a single drawing had just touched the heart of a man who'd once been a little boy with dreams. 2. The sun had already dipped below the rooftops when Maya trudged up the narrow staircase to her apartment, her feet aching and uniform smelling faintly of coffee and fried food. The hallway light flickered, and the air was heavy with the scent of rain drifting in through an open window. She unlocked the door quietly, expecting the usual silence, shadows, and Lily waiting by the window. But the moment she stepped inside, she froze. There, on the small wooden table that doubled as their dining area, sat a large pink box wrapped neatly in shiny paper. A silver ribbon curled perfectly across the top, and a small white card rested on it. Maya's breath caught in her throat. Her hands trembled as she reached for the card, afraid to believe what she was seeing. In neat handwriting, it read, "Happy birthday, Lily, from a friend who believes dreams shouldn't depend on money." Before Maya could say a word, Lily ran from her room, her eyes wide and sparkling. "Mama, look," she cried, spotting the box. "Is that for me?" Maya nodded slowly, her voice stuck somewhere between laughter and tears. "Yes, baby, it's for you." Lily tore into the wrapping, her little hands shaking with excitement. When the last piece of paper fell away, she gasped. It was the Barbie, the exact one she'd been dreaming about for months. The same one Maya had stared at in the toy aisle just yesterday. Lily screamed with joy, hugging the doll to her chest before throwing her arms around her mother. Thank you, Mama. You're the best in the world. Maya hugged her tightly, tears streaming freely now. No, sweetheart, she whispered, her voice trembling. Someone else made this happen. She stepped out onto the small balcony, scanning the street below. The night was quiet, except for the hum of a car engine in the distance. Down the road, a sleek black sedan was just turning the corner. Inside the car, Daniel Cross watched the warm glow from the apartment window. He smiled faintly, a rare softness crossing his face. His mother's words echoed in his mind. One day, when you can, make life easier for someone else. As the car disappeared into the city, Maya stood under the stars, holding her daughter close, her heart full of gratitude for the stranger who had turned a simple birthday into a miracle.